Wouldn't it be nice to be rich? I mean, you could buy any car that you want. Maybe one day. But what if I told you you could live a life of luxury without spending the big bucks? Well, today we have 9 cars that have depreciated to the point that you, the average enthusiast, can afford. I'm Brad. Like, subscribe, buckle up. Let's go. Screaming in at the very top of today's list is this Maserati Quattroporte. What began life as what was supposed to be the first production Ferrari sedan in history, it was turned into a Maserati at the last minute due to corporate bullshit. But don't get me wrong, despite the identity crisis the car had in its early production days, it knows exactly what it is. A 4-door, leather-wrapped, 400 horsepower beast that was literally scientifically proven to have the most sexually arousing engine ever made. Like seriously, you can look it up. And in addition to the connected driving experience and orgasmic exhaust, the Quattroporte is quite the depreciator too. It cost customers something like $115,000 when new, but today, you can pick up a nice one for less than 40 bands. Now, once Maserati finally ditched the old F1 automated manual transmission, the Quattroporte really came into its own. It got a facelift and gained a much needed bump in reliability, turning it into one of the most unique luxury cars on the market. Hands down. Gloria all'Italia! Oh, guys, and real quick, if you're in the market for a depreciated luxury car, or any car for that matter, well then come check out the Ideal Car Strategies, where we teach you everything you need to know to get the best deal on your ride. Click the link below and head on over to our free workshop for a limited time. And now, back to the show. Pack your bag, folks. We're going to Germany. And I'm definitely not going to try and speak German in this one, so heads up. Regardless, we have the Porsche Panamera. For a brand like Porsche, with such recognizable design cues across the board, it wasn't easy to incorporate the look of a larger sedan model. But honestly, I think they completely nailed this thing. Its curvy yet aggressive lines tell you all you need to know when pulling up next to one. And the performance? Well, it's got plenty to back up those sexy looks. Fitted with a twin-turbo V6 that pumps out well over 300 horsepower, this package of acceleration, comfort, and overall balance is something that only Porsche could pull off with such a heavy luxury car. And yes, baby, it's got luxury. Step inside and you're greeted with one of the most body-hugging and comfortable seats in the industry, with high-quality leather surrounding the whole cabin. Plus a sweet 3-spoke steering wheel and great infotainment systems too. Brand new, these things cost between 90 and 100 grand without options. And with options, they go way up from there. Thanks to depreciation, you can pick one up in the low to mid 60s. Alright guys, we're gonna cross the street in Stuttgart over to Mercedes-Benz with their iconic S-Class. It's the car that basically reinvented the full-size luxury car category. For decades upon decades, the S-Class has been the luxury car to most of the world. If you were wealthy but not stoked on specking out a Rolls-Royce for like $500,000, the S-Class was always the right decision, and frankly, it still is. It's got sober yet strong lines and an interior that could put the most, let's just say, caffeinated of businessmen to sleep in no time. Devoid of the drama and the flashiness of some of the more modern luxury cars, the S-Class just gets the job done and done well. It's one of the best cars to cruise in at high freeway speeds without breaking a sweat. And its torquey V8 or V12 options have no problem doing it all day and night. It's no question that it deserves to be up here at the top of this list. Plus, you don't have to pay freaking insane prices to own one anymore. The flagship coupe version started at $110K and up when new, but nowadays, you can find a gently used one between $60 and $70K. Nothing depreciates quite like a Mercedes, or drives like one. But where the S-Class has a sense of stealth wealth, it's the Bentley Flying Spur that will make everyone on the road think that you're absolutely balling out of control. This big British boy makes the list not because it's super expensive, but because of what you get from the car. Though it doesn't have quite the history of the S-Class, the Flying Spur makes up for it with one of the most elegant luxury car designs ever made. Flowing full-length body lines, a tapered rear end, and those iconic big round Bentley headlights make the Flying Spur a top contender just on the looks alone. But, of course, beauty comes from the inside too. And this Brit has it all going on. With cross-stitched leather seats, a beautiful sweeping dashboard, and real metal trim pieces everywhere, it's no wonder that this car could cost as much as $225,000 with the sweet and smooth W12 option from the dealership. But don't worry, my posh little friends, because after 5 years of depreciation, you can cop a W12 Flying Spur for a ridiculous $100K under sticker. Next up is the Audi A8L. This long and wide luxury sedan is Audi's most top-of-the-line non-performance-based car, and it's not hard to see why this thing costs over $90K when brand new. If it's one thing that Audi does better than almost any other comparable company, it's designing the prettiest modern interiors on the market. And lucky for you and me, because luxury cars don't usually hold value, and so you can get behind the driver's seat for around $35K. Of the big body German sedans, if the S-Class is the most luxurious and the BMW 7 Series focuses on performance, then the Audi A8 sort of blends the best of both worlds. They're handsome, they're well made, and they're downright fantastic cars. And with quattro all-wheel drive plus the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 option, for, a little extra money, it will give you all the punch that you need. Now, something like the A8 and all of our previous cars are certainly affordable in terms of depreciation, but I've got one that's even more budget-friendly for you. Back to England, folks, because it is the Jaguar XJ sedan. It's a wafty and elegant car that looks great thanks to Jaguar's awesome design team. And it drives pretty well too because of its driver-focused seating position and responsive steering. The XJ offers a 3-liter V6 with a 5-liter V8, both equipped with superchargers that'll send you to cruising speeds with cat-like agility. And it can all be yours for under 30 grand after 5 years of depreciation. Unlike some of the others, it's a cool car to drive rather than be driven in. But like the Maserati, its maintenance costs can be a nightmare. So just make sure you do your research. Okay, staying with the cheaper options, our 7th spot goes to the Genesis G90, the classiest car for the middle class. Starting at $70,000 brand new, this thing was no slouch amongst the field of European elites, and it brought some light into the Korean luxury market that just wasn't there before. It's got an S-Class sedan kind of understated look and an interior that could fool someone into thinking that they're stepping into a 7 Series. Almost. I mean, this build quality is very good, but it's not the greatest. But hey, at the end of the day, this is a car that costs in the low 30s after depreciation that you can get with a 5-liter V8 and ventilated rear seats. And what's more is just like their parent company Hyundai, well, these cars carry a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Hard to argue with that. Time to head to Japan with the Infiniti Q70, or, well, I guess America, since Infiniti is North American. Whatever, it's a luxury Nissan. For around 50 grand when new, the Q70 was kind of a dark horse in the way that most people think of Infiniti as a brand, because of their sports cars and sedans like the almighty G35, rather than big full-size luxury sedans. I mean, it is a little boring compared to some of the others on this list, and it won't quite get you to the level of quality materials as, say, a Mercedes, but the Q70's long wheelbase and upgraded interior make it a great option for Japanese car enthusiasts who want a little comfort in their commute. Plus, for my stance friends out there, this car probably looks the best when bagged out of all these cars. And the best part? Well, you might actually be able to afford air ride when you save almost 30 grand thanks to depreciation. We found multiple Q70s for around 20 grand. You probably can too. Speaking of, we'll link to all these cars in the description below, so go find them. And here we are, the last and maybe the least on this list, the Maserati Ghibli. When people buy this car brand new for around 80 grand, it sure seems like a good deal for a 4-door sexy Italian car. But what they can't see is the future, a future that includes a maintenance horror movie and repair bills that are even scarier. This Italian stallion is certainly cool though, and it makes this list because of uniqueness and impressive performance. In the realm of over 400 horsepower from a V6. Out of all the cars on today's list, the Ghibli is probably the most fun to drive. But it does sort of have a habit of leaving people stranded, and sitting in the passenger seat of a tow truck just isn't my definition of luxury. But if you're a ride or die for the historically sweet sounding and sexy looking Ghibli, they've depreciated down to the low 30s for you. So there's our list. Do you agree with the last pick or any of them for that matter? Let us know in the comments below. And check out this vid up here or whatever YouTube recommends you watch next. I'm Brad, this is Ideal. Like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle.